Michael Myers is a fictional character from the Halloween series of slasher films. He first appears in John Carpenter's Halloween as a young boy who murders his sister, Judith Myers, and then, 15 years later, returns home to Haddonfield to murder more teenagers. In the original Halloween, the adult Michael Myers, referred to as the Shape in the closing credits, was portrayed by Nick Castle for most of the film, with Tony Moran and Tommy Lee Wallace substituting in the final scenes. The character was created by Deborah Hill and John Carpenter and has appeared in 10 movies, as well as novels, multiple video games, and several comic books. Michael Myers appears in all of the Halloween films except Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, which does not feature any of the characters from the preceding 2 films and has nothing to do with the character. Michael returned in the following film, Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers, with the title highlighting his revival. The silver screen is not the only place Michael Myers has appeared. There have been literary sources that have created an expanded universe for Michael Myers. Michael Myers made his first appearance in the film Halloween. In the beginning of Halloween, a 6-year-old Michael murders his teenage sister Judith on Halloween 1963. 15 years later, Michael escapes Smith's Grove Sanitarium and returns to his hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois. He stalks teenage babysitter Laurie Strode on Halloween, while his psychiatrist Dr. Sam Loomis attempts to track him down. Murdering Laurie's friends, Michael finally attacks Laurie herself, but she manages to fend him off long enough for Loomis to save her. Loomis shoots Michael 6 times, knocking him off the balcony. When Loomis goes to check Michael's body, he finds it missing. Michael returns in the sequel, Halloween 2. The film picks up directly where the original ends, with Dr. Loomis still looking for Michael. Michael follows Laurie to the local hospital, where he wanders the halls in search of her, killing security guards, doctors, and nurses that get in his way. Loomis learns that Laurie is Michael's younger sister and rushes to the hospital to find them. Laurie shoots Michael in the eyes, blinding him, and Loomis causes an explosion in the operating theater, allowing Laurie to escape. Michael, engulfed in flames, stumbles out of the room before finally falling dead. Michael Myers does not directly appear in Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, which does not include any story elements from the first 2 installments. It does include Michael in a brief television commercial for the first film. Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers picks the story up 10 years after the events of Halloween 2. Michael is revealed to have been in a comatose state since the explosion. Michael wakes from his coma when he learns Laurie Strode has died in a car accident but has a 7-year-old daughter, Jamie Lloyd. Returning to Haddonfield, he causes a citywide blackout and massacres the town's police force, before being shot by the state police and falling down a mine shaft. Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers begins immediately after the 4th film ends, with Michael Myers escaping the mine shaft and being nursed back to health by a local hermit. The next year, Michael kills the hermit and returns to Haddonfield to find Jamie again, chasing her through his childhood home in a trap set up by Loomis. Michael is eventually subdued by Loomis and taken to the local police station, but a mysterious man in black attacks the police station, kills the officers, and frees him. Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers takes place 6 years after the events of The Revenge of Michael Myers. Both Jamie and Michael have disappeared from Haddonfield. Jamie has been kidnapped and impregnated by the Cult of Thorn, led by Dr. Terrence Wynn, Loomis's friend and colleague from Smith's Grove. Wynn is revealed to have been manipulating Michael Myers all along and was his mysterious savior in Halloween 5. Michael kills Jamie, but not before she hides her infant, who is discovered and taken in by Tommy Doyle. While trying to protect the baby from Michael and Wynn, Tommy learns that the cult may be the cause of Michael's obsession with killing his entire family, in addition to his seemingly supernatural abilities. Michael ultimately turns against the cult and is finally subdued by Tommy, who injects him with large quantities of tranquilizers inside the Smith's Grove Sanitarium. The film ends with Michael's mask lying on the floor of the lab room and Loomis screaming in the background, leaving the fate of both men unknown. A new version of Michael Myers appears in Rob Zombie's Halloween, a reboot of the franchise. The film follows the basic premise of the original film, with an increased focus on Michael's childhood. 10-year-old Michael is shown killing animals and suffering verbal abuse from Judith and his mother's boyfriend, Ronnie, both of whom he later murders. During his time in Smith's Grove, Michael takes up the hobby of creating papier-mâché masks and receives unsuccessful therapy from Dr. Sam Loomis. As an adult, Michael returns to Haddonfield to reunite with his beloved younger sister Laurie. Laurie, however, is terrified of him and ends up shooting him in self-defense. Zombie's story is continued in the sequel Halloween 2, which picks up right where the remake leaves off, and then jumps ahead 1 year. Here, Michael is presumed dead, but resurfaces after a vision of his deceased mother, Deborah, informs him that he must track Laurie down so that they can come home. In the film, Michael and Laurie have a mental link, with the two sharing visions of their mother. During the film's climax, Laurie kills Michael by stabbing him repeatedly in the chest and face with his own knife, with the final scene suggesting that she has taken on her brother's psychosis as she dons his mask. Michael Myers appears in David Gordon Green's Halloween, a direct sequel to the original film that disregards him as the brother of Laurie Strode. This film establishes that Michael was recaptured following his killing spree in 1978, spending 40 years back in Smith's Grove Sanitarium before escaping again and returning to Haddonfield for another killing spree. Here he comes face to face again with Laurie Strode, who has been preparing for his return. Michael is taken to Laurie's home by his deranged psychologist, where he engages in a showdown with Laurie, who severely injures him and severs 2 of his fingers. Michael is ultimately trapped in Laurie's burning house by Laurie, her daughter Karen, and her granddaughter Allison. As the house burns, a final shot of the burning basement is shown, with Michael nowhere to be seen. At the end of the credits, sounds of what may be Michael's breathing is heard, leaving his fate in further doubt.